New tonight, ABC 15 sitting down for an exclusive TV interview with U.S. Senate candidate Mark Lamb to go over the issues viewers like you have made clear. You want to know where the candidates stand on the issues, and ABC 15 is committed to bringing you these interviews with not just Lamb, but those he's running against and the other big races out there as well, all leading up to November. So tonight, Rachel Louise Just with our ABC 15 political team brings us up to speed on the state of Mark Lamb's campaign.
Fentanyl on traffic.
Mark Lamb rode into the public's attention as an Arizona sheriff.
Is everything good? Your license all good?
Turned reality star. Through his nearly 2 decades in law enforcement, his focus on law and order and the border have put him in the national spotlight. Now, he looks to take on a different public service role.
You can say it all day long. There's one thing being the candidate. There's a totally different thing being the actual elected official. Because then you actually have to do what you say you're going to do.
The so-called American sheriff setting his sights on America's capital.
I don't believe you should be the guy that just complains. If you want to do, you should do something about it, and that's what I'm doing.
His top issues, the economy, what he calls the rule of law, and national and border security. Lamb came out against the border bill co-sponsored by Senator Kyrsten Sinema. He says border solutions should include completing the border wall and stopping illegal entry entirely, something no administration has accomplished.
I get the human side of it, and where that's what I bring that up for is Congress and Senate have failed the American people. They have also failed these people who do want to come here and make a better life for themselves.
He adds D.C. is passing laws they know nothing about.
Because they came to the border one time, they think they know what the border is.
As a sheriff who had his own son in jail over fentanyl use, Lamb says he wants to stop the flow of fentanyl across the border.
And you know who's never around when that happens? The federal government. They're not there. They're the ones who let it in. Yet they're not there to clean up the mess.
Lamb says he'd like to boost the economy with energy independence through fracking, propane, oil, and nuclear. On the rule of law, he says trust needs to be restored with federal law enforcement, particularly after charges were filed against former President Donald Trump.
We got to give more power back to the local, state agencies.
When it comes to abortion and Arizona's legal back and forth on a near total ban, Lamb says he believes life begins at conception.
Well, I'm pro-life. Always have been.
But he was less clear about specifics of his policy.
The no exceptions, that is something that personally you are
well, I don't think that the no exceptions is going to last here.
In terms of his campaigning, Lamb has taken a different approach from his competitors, focusing on a more grassroots, in-person campaign and few, if any, traditional TV ads.
We need real Americans back in D.C. representing us. More cowboy hats and belt buckles.
No matter what happens, Lamb has already decided he'll be out of the sheriff's office after the election.
It's not in my nature to stand on the corner and watch the building burn to the ground. Nor is it in my nature to wait for somebody else to run into the building. I'm going to run in.
I'm so curious. I've heard, obviously, Republican candidates in this election cycle going on and refusing to say that they'd accept election results. Did Lamb answer that? What did he have to say about that?
Yeah, Katie, that's a question we're hearing more and more from journalists nowadays. And it's a question that I asked him as well, if he'll accept those results when it comes to July and November. Lamb said he would, and he understands in every race there are winners and losers, but he still plans to win in both elections. This was a direct answer on this issue, which is something you don't always hear from politicians when it comes to it.
Yeah, it's refreshing to hear that. You can also sit down and watch the entire interview with Lamb on ABC 15's website. It's there right now. And as we said before this interview, you have made it clear you want to hear where candidates stand on these issues. You're tired of the name calling, tired of the mudslinging. We intend to get you that information ahead of election time. Right now on ABC15.com, you can watch the full interview with Lamb's top Republican opponent, Kari Lake, as well. We extended the same exact amount of airtime to her. We will do the same for Ruben Gallego, who's also expected to get the Democratic nomination here. We're working to finalize plans for that interview, and we will bring it to you as soon as we do.